because you're not a influencer as far as I can tell. You're not trying to do that.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's just getting that evergreen content out there and getting the right stuff out there. Hey, Dennis, how you going?
Good. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, good afternoon. Have we connected before?
We've spoken via email years ago. I mean, I've kind of followed you and your content and that sort of stuff for a long time,
Okay.
but never face to face.
I feel like we talked like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think like we chatted via email,
Okay.
but I mean, from memory, we didn't do anything on Zoom or anything like that.
Yeah, I was just emailing. So it's like, I've seen that name before. I'm glad you reached out.
Yeah. I've always kind of followed your content. I mean, you did a podcast a long time ago with an Australian chiropractor that I kind of heard your name. There was a bit of your name mentioned with digitalmarketing.com.
Yep.
I think that's where I first heard about your 3x3 grid.
3x3 grid, $1 a day. Yeah, all that stuff. I'm one of the 4 instructors for Digital Marketer.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I've always kind of resonated with the content that you've put out. So it's just, I thought it'd be a good time to get in touch and see if we can kind of talk some things out and see what we can do.
Well, good. Well, you know what we teach. So now it's just a matter of what's stopping you from doing it.
Time more than anything. So I think it's how to leverage the things that we do the most effectively and still try and find time to do it all, and kind of get things set. In my head, it's just getting things set up the right way so that the foundations are there to be able to build on it more than anything else.
Yeah. And then with the time thing, you get time compression when you make, like in the 3x3 videos, you make these videos that you can use forever instead of being like a publisher where you feel like you have to make 10 videos every week or something like that.
Having the systems there to let it run its course and, bring leads in and do their thing.
Amen. Well, good. Do you have some kind of report that tracks the source of your patients?
I do. It's not complete. So with the booking system we use, which is called Clinico, there's a lot of difficulties with tracking with cookies and third party, like cross-domain tracking and that kind of stuff. So it's with a lot of difficulty, we've kind of gotten to a place where we're kind of accurate with the amount of leads that we're getting through there. I don't have anything that tracks phone calls, but to be honest, we don't get that many bookings through phone calls. Most of them are done online through our online booking system.
Okay, and that is Active Campaign plus some other stuff?
So the online booking system is Clinico.
Oh, I see. Okay. But Clinico is big, so I figure this is not some uncommon issue. I mean, anyone using Clinico would want to know tracking marketing.
A lot of people have been pushing for more accurate analytics and tracking through Clinico, but I think they're more focused on the medical side of things, and they're not really
the EMR side of things.
They're moving more towards allowing us to do drip campaigns and kind of SMS and email lead gen and that kind of thing, but it's still very basic compared to lots of other things. But I mean, it does what it needs to do for the time being. But yeah, I mean, just getting back to the tracking side of it, I've done a lot with a lot of people to kind of get it to a point now where it is tracking pretty accurately.
Okay.
But yeah, the phone call side of things, I was using CallRail for a little while.
Why not CallRail? CallRail's great.
Yeah, it was. I just found we weren't getting that many bookings through phone calls for it to be worth. Well, I think I was paying $70 or $80 a month for it.
How many phone numbers did you have? That's crazy.
Yeah. It was really just online bookings. I think for a lot of people, they just like the convenience and the flexibility of being able to go online, looking and seeing what's available, and then just booking directly through that.
Okay.
So predominantly, it's online bookings for leads, which is great because they're not so much leads as they've booked in, they've paid a deposit, so they're coming in.
Yep.
So they are a lot more qualified versus someone who fills out a form for an ebook or the phone consultations that we offer. The ebook side of things, which I know is still quite old school, that does bring a bit of traction, but there's just not enough traffic for it to really do anything. So that was kind of one of the things I wanted to talk to you about with setting things up.
We'll run ads to it.
Yeah, where it was just putting blogs or getting some traffic through blogs and then running ebook retargeting to those people. But yeah, it's just kind of working out what the best strategy is because I'm kind of just word vomiting everything at you at the moment. But yeah, we do these 15-minute phone consultations as well, where for people who don't know if Chiro will be effective for them, they can book in for a free 15-minute phone consultation with me.
Okay.
And then we basically just go and get on a call, have a chat, talk about their condition, their symptoms, and then, if we can help, let them know and then book them in directly from there. If not, try and point them in the right direction. So there's kind of a few things which do generate leads, but nothing that's systemized and nothing that's kind of on autopilot where we can let it run. And then there's just a process behind it where it's consistently bringing in the things that we need it to bring in.
So, Mark, you're saying the main path that's working for you now is people booking 15-minute appointments.
No, so that's an option for them, but the main path is for them to book in for an initial consultation.
Okay. And that they have to pay a deposit on that.
Yes, so we do it as a special offer, which is a $97 new patient special offer.
Oh, that one. Okay. And how much is the deposit?
$35.
Okay. What kind of show rate do you get?
Close to 100%.
Of course, because they put the money down.
Absolutely.
And what percent of those are you able to convert to a care plan?
So that depends on the practitioner. So lifetime value is like, I do one-on-one training with all the chiros to try and, keep things as streamlined and standardized as possible.
Yeah.
Like, for me, my retention rate would sit around that 90% mark, whereas for one of the new chiros we've just had, he's sitting around the 50% mark. So it does fluctuate quite a lot. But when anyone starts at anything, there is a teething process.
There's only one Mark, but yeah.
Oh, look, that's not even.
Of course,
saying
you close better. You have more authority. They're searching for your name. All of those things.
Yeah. So that was the other thing that I wanted to chat to you about because I know you guys offered some stuff with brand awareness and the brand marketing side of things, and just kind of increasing the name of the brand where people aren't looking to book with me; they're looking to book with spine and posture care, which is kind of one thing that I've definitely been moving towards because pretty much since COVID, I've stopped taking on new patients. So, and the clinic's busier than ever. So people are definitely more booking in because of the brand name rather than because of my name personally. Yeah. But in service-based businesses, especially something that's health related, people build a rapport and build connection with the person that's treating them, which then also creates, difficulty where I had my second kid last week. So they're saying, yeah, thank you. Yeah, there's no such thing as sleep anyway. But it is something where when a patient's used to seeing one person and then you're trying to transition to someone else, that can create some sort of, friction or difficulty. But in fairness, it has worked pretty nicely. Yeah, it is just kind of creating this bigger awareness for the brand rather than for a practitioner.
Okay. How many chiros on your team?
So there's 5, including me.
Okay.
And so the main clinic is our Sydney CBD clinic, so Central Business District.
Of course.
Most of the Americans start panicking when they see CBD. So
the other CBD, I know. I go to Sydney every year, and I've been for 20 years.
Yeah, but so that's been the main clinic for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
This year in January, I opened up in Barangaroo, which is on the opposite side of the city. So Barangaroo is kind of, do you know about Barangaroo?
Not that well. World Gym is a client of ours. They've got a lot of locations around Sydney.
Okay, because so Barangaroo is a new suburb in Sydney CBD. So it's where there's a new casino there. They've got these 3 major towers, which are just a huge office hub for all the big companies. So your JP Morgans and KPMGs and the rest of it are all kind of in those towers now, which is great for us considering our specialty focus is on posture. Being in the city where
the office workers.
Yeah. And so Barangaroo, because it's its own hub, while it is still a part of Sydney CBD, people don't leave that area when they're working there. So for them to walk 15 minutes, 20 minutes to the opposite side of the city where our main clinic is, we were losing out on a lot of market share because people just wouldn't, they're very time poor. People want to come in, get their treatment, and then get back to the office and get it as quickly as possible. So I opened a small office in Barangaroo, and it's just picked up so quickly because we're just picking up this market share that no one else has really targeted. So that's been fantastic.
How much of that is referrals, where you're building relationships with HR or people from a certain company, and they bring their friends and that kind of thing?
So at the moment, referrals are great for us because we do a half price consultation for any referrals that come through. So we'll do it for $48.50. One of the big things that we used to offer before COVID, or that we used to do before COVID, was we'd get a HR contact through one of our patients, and then we'd go into the office and we'd do a free posture talk, free posture assessments for people, and then we
Yeah.
generated so much traffic from that. It's just that's also just a time thing and a scalability thing.
Which is why you
Because
stopped doing it.
yeah. I mean, COVID really slowed that down because the city emptied out for a good 2 years, 3 years after COVID. Now that companies are really starting to push people to get back in the office without the work from home,
Yeah.
it's definitely one that we've started to organize again.
Yeah.
But in fairness, we are very busy, so we haven't really had the need to push because we're getting so many patients coming in at this
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, for me, it's always, if we have more new patients, I can hire more people, I can train more people. But then there is also that kind of leaky aspect of the bucket where we can get more and more leads, but if we're losing a good amount of them because my practitioners can't keep them, then there's also that issue as well, which kind of moves away from the digital marketing space of things. But yeah, just kind of one
Yeah.
of the problems that also occurs with generating more leads but not having a high retention rate, keep on
Well,
top of them.
all service-based business have this issue because if your staff aren't good enough, you don't retain. But at the same time, even if your staff are highly trained and take good care of the customers, you still have to have reactivation campaigns and happy birthdays and other referral incentives and take your best patients out to dinner and that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you do stuff with massage therapists where like
I
you'll
I
come in
had
and get a free massage as part of your thing or
I had a massage therapist last year, which was quite good. I just found massage therapists weren't as scalable as the chiro side of things because people were kind of coming in for a massage and then they just wanted, a quick fix in a way where they weren't really kind of on board with, what we do is a lot very closely related to, I guess, getting braces for your teeth, where it's not really focused on the symptomatic side of things. Most people are coming in for a symptomatic issue, but it's understanding the structural rehabilitative process of it. So from a longevity point of view, it's fantastic because
Mhm.
when patients are committed, they're really committed. It's just kind
Mm.
of getting them to understand the process and getting them on board in the first place. Whereas, yeah, with massage, it was get my half an hour massage, get my hour
That's
massage.
the
And
way to get people in. Yeah. But you're not a
yeah,
$27 Cairo, right?
yeah.
You're not Massage
The
Envy or
other
one of them. Yeah.
That's it. And the other thing with massage was a massage therapist is very limited in how many patients they can see in a week.
Hmm.
It's like if they're doing 1 hour massages, for a massage therapist to do 30 patients in a week, that's a big week for them.
We do that
Whereas,
just as acquisition.
yeah. So, I mean, I'm more than open to anything really. Yeah, I guess it's just kind of scripting it and working out how you transition from the massage therapist into the chiro consult side of
No, it's
things.
just bringing them in for here's your initial package and the value is this and it includes a 30-minute massage. And then that just
Yeah.
sweetens the deal to get them in. Because once you get them in, you sell them a care plan, which is 30 sessions or whatever, over not just a one-off thing or I'll come in whenever I feel like it, but you sell them a whole
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah, no, that
That's
sounds
how you
great.
overcome the retention issue because you agreed to a plan and then you get their credit card.
Yeah. I mean, because we do 24 treatment plans. I mean, people stay long after the 24 treatment plans. That's kind of
Yeah.
like the initial process of it. But yeah, once people are committed and once people like see the value and the benefit they're getting out of it, not just when they get out of pain, but in terms of wellness and maintenance and keeping out of pain, they, yeah, they stick. They do stick quite a
This is
lot.
all cash pay. You don't do insurance.
No insurance, no.
Good. All right.
Yeah. So
Your
yeah,
average LTV has got to be a couple $1,000s. These
yeah. So I
care
mean,
plans,
the lifetime value is about 3.5K per patient.
3.5K Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's good. Like I was saying, things are going well. We're kind of hitting
Yeah.
records at the moment. It's just how do you take it to the next level? Like I mean, for the chiro side of things, I can take care of that.
But
It's
so
just
you're
training. And,
busy. You're full. So you want more patients? You want more
well, you
market? It
never
sounds like you
say.
don't need more marketing right now.
I think I need better systems rather than more marketing. I think I just need more structure
Okay.
in terms of the Facebook side of things, especially.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Google Ads has always been one that's worked very well for us, but the
Hmm.
cost per lead is also very expensive because it
Every
is
year
like,
that goes up. That's all. Not much you can do about that except convert better
yeah. So it's just,
and go after more niche terms.
Correct. Like, I mean, my posture keywords have always been very effective because I'm paying $2 or $3 a click versus, $15 to $20 a click for a chiropractor keyword.
Yeah, yeah.
So
How
yeah,
about
the cost
YouTube?
per lead.
Display is the biggest part of Google Ads by far.
I've never pushed the display side of things. So I mean, that's it, and
Because
that's what I
you're just
mean.
playing
Like,
keywords, right? You're bidding only on
yeah,
keywords.
correct. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
like 1/10 of the auction. There's way more traffic inside YouTube and Gmail and all these other sites, but it requires you to have video to be able to play there.
yeah, yeah,
And then that means the landing pages and whatnot have to be video oriented and everything just has to convert better because the expectation is higher. Because
so
search is so competitive because anybody can throw up a search ad.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, we'll audit your search ads and we'll find some things that we can fix. But I imagine
Hmm.
it's working well. We're not going to get this huge I'm not going to make some crazy expectation on
Yeah, yeah.
improving Google Ads. I think we'll do some improvement once we get a
Hmm.
chance to look inside.
Yeah, because like I mean, in saying that, it is costing about $200 to get a lead in, which it's I'd like to drop it if I can, but I mean, if that's the market, that's the market.
Well,
But
you're defining a lead as what?
so online booking,
Okay.
so they've paid the $35 deposit and they've booked online.
Okay. And then you get a 90% show rate. And then what percent of those do you sell a care plan to?
So again, practitioner dependent, but let's say on average about 60%.
60? That's good. Of
Could
course, you're
always be
on the
better.
higher end and the other guys are lower, but average is the 60?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I definitely say, yeah, we kind of sit around that 60% mark.
So then the average revenue for someone who shows is about $2,800,
Yeah.
60% of
So
3,500.
just
And if
like,
it
I
costs
mean,
you
just to
200 for
give
an
you,
appointment, you're getting about a 10 ROAS, which is actually what you typically want to expect. You spend a
yeah,
dollar, you get back 10 in gross revenue.
yeah. So I
That's where it
mean,
should be,
that's
but you want
where.
you want more of it at a lower
Mhm.
cost, of course.
Oh, look, I mean, if you can get it for cheaper, it's I guess it's always money in versus money out. So if you can
So let me
control
ask you
it,
this, Mark.
it's
Would you, let's say two, because I think $200 is fair. I mean, we could, if the goal is to optimize to decrease the cost per lead, but keep the volume the same, we could do that.
hmm
Or if
hmm
it's, at my current $200, without exceeding that, get me more at the same price.
hmm
Those are two different objectives.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where it's like, is it worth even focusing on that and or rather focus on the things that I'm not doing much of where I can utilize the traffic that I'm getting through Google Ads to then create more where if a person's gone on my website, they're obviously a warm lead, even if they haven't booked in, because they have some sort of interest in what I'm offering.
Mhm. Mhm.
So am I better off utilizing extra budget on remarketing through Facebook, through display advertising, where we're targeting those guys and we're getting rather than 2 out of 10 bookings, we're getting 4 out of 10, but now two are coming through Google and two are
You want
coming through
efficiency. You want more
Facebook.
efficiency.
Always. Look, I mean, the more I can kind of streamline it where it's like the system's there, it's running itself. I know
Yeah.
that if I don't get a patient through Google Ads, I'm going to be able to target them through an email sequence or through
Right.
Facebook or whatever it might be,
Yeah.
and know that it's kind of on autopilot. That's kind
Yep.
of like I know that there's things that are always going to have to be fine-tuned, but if I can at least have the system in place where it's done by someone who knows what they're doing, it's done
Mhm.
and it's kind of set up properly, I'd
Yeah.
rather be able to do that and then refine after that.
Okay. So, Mark, the biggest thing I see with Kairos that actually have decent marketing in terms of patient acquisition. So if they're doing acquisition well, the biggest problem I see is that after that first visit or after that, 24 treatment plan, there's no follow-up, there's no phone
Hmm.
call, there's no nurturing along the way, there's no,
Hmm.
birthday card or these other pieces, just because they're so busy on acquisition that they have a leaky sieve that they just keep pouring more into with them, which is the efficiency thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So you're using Active Campaign integrated with Clinico to do that?
Yes, so active campaigns kind of more for the ebook side of things. So on any of the services that we offer, so low back pain treatment, sciatica treatment, neck pain, there's an ebook for each one.
Uh-huh.
So if they download an ebook, then they get a 5-day email sequence which offers the $37 new patient offer rather than $97 new patient offer, or a free 15-minute phone consultation.
So that Active Campaign is just on acquisition.
Yes, pretty much.
But then retention is what are you doing there?
So Like in terms of retention for patients who drop off from care?
Well, yeah, they go the initial 24 treatment plan, right? But then there's
Okay, so after their initial 24 treatment, patients, for the most part, will stay on. So they're not doing 24 treatments and they're finishing. So treatment will generally be an 18 to 24-month window. So, and then even after that 24 months, if the patient's really stuck on, they're still coming in once a month for maintenance.
I thought you said there was a churn problem.
Yes, so there is, but it's just where patients are dropping off. So, for example, if let's say a patient doesn't sign up to a care plan, they can still come in
Okay.
for treatment, but then
Right.
they might drop off after 8 treatments or 10 treatments because they're not
Okay.
on a care plan. So we'll have a higher percentage than 60% of people coming in, but then they'll drop off because they weren't committed in the first place.
So how much of it do you think is they weren't really a fit for a care plan because they just had, or they just weren't being nurtured well enough?
So it'll kind of be a bit of both, where some of them are coming in where they've seen other chiropractors, the chiropractors kind of brought them in, done a quick crack, crack, crack. All right, come back when the pain comes back, and then
Right.
they'll book in with us, kind of expecting the same thing. And then it's us trying to re-educate and kind of get them to understand that it's not about just waiting for pain to come on, because by the time pain comes on, the
The
problems
whole
already occurred.
proactive thing. Yeah. Are you
Yeah,
selling
so
other treatments, other functional medicine or supplements or other things like that?
Not really. I kind of found the upsells to be something that I wasn't really working towards, purely because, like, if I was selling pillows and supplements and that kind of stuff, I felt like it was taking away from the core kind of
Yeah. Well, they do
focus
that in
that we
America
want.
a lot, you know.
Yeah, no, I know, I know. Yeah, so it's just like, even if I want someone to get a foam roller, for example, I don't want to sell them the $20 foam roller. I'd rather tell them to go to the shops and buy the foam roller,
No,
because I
you
don't
give
want
it
them to
away.
feel, yeah,
Tell them
yeah,
it's
that's
a
right.
$200 value. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd rather them value the thing that I'm telling them rather than feel like I'm pushing the sale onto them just for the extra $20. Because really, if they come in another time, I'm making $100 out of it anyway. So the
Right. Right.
$20 starts to feel irrelevant. Like, I mean,
It's a
I know I'm kind of
distraction.
being blasé about it, but it's I want them to value the treatment because of the value and the benefit they're getting out of treatment rather than on the extra things.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not some cheesy retail. This is high-end service. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, trying to be, and people appreciate it. We get so many referrals because of that. We're
What are
kind
you
of
actively
averaging
doing to make referrals easy?
nothing. No, just chat.
That sounds like the easiest deficiency gap to plug.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, we talk to all patients about referrals and we say, if they refer someone in, they get a half price treatment and the referral gets a half price treatment, but nothing that's kind of systemized or set in stone. It's literally just after they've signed up for a care plan, then we kind of go through our office policies. We talk about cancellation policies. We talk about, a workshop that we do for everyone that helps
Yeah.
to improve sitting, sleeping, standing. And then we talk about the referral bonus that we get. So we've got it, I guess, standardized in that we say it to everyone, but
Yeah.
nothing that, sends out. Oh, sorry, I lie. On every appointment reminder that patients get at the bottom of it, it does give them a kind
No,
of
but I'm
bonus.
saying like the CA or the front desk, just making a quick little
Hmm.
phone call saying, "Hey, Mark, I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. It's good seeing you
Hmm.
last Friday."
So every week, so we actually don't have a CA or a receptionist. We're receptionists. So it's
No
kind of
CAs?
no CA or
Oh,
Kairos.
really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just found that we had a CA. I just found for what they were doing versus what, like, I didn't feel like there was enough of a benefit of having the CA for it to be worthwhile, where the Chiros kind of control their own schedules and they control their own books. They do their own
Okay.
follow-ups every Monday. So if a patient's done, 5 treatments and dropped off from care, we'll do a follow-up SMS, and that's all manual. I've just found it easier to do manual rather than automated, where if someone's kind of definitively said they don't want to come in for treatment, I don't want to automate it too much where they're getting annoyed or pestered with emails or
Right.
SMS. So
Right.
a chiro who's treating patients knows their patients, even if they've only seen them once or twice, so they can at least do a manual follow-up at the start of the week and just check in on them. And then we get some reactivations from that, and other people just won't reply. If they don't want to do it, I'm not going to hold a gun to anyone's head.
Do you have reactivation campaigns you run every few months in Clinico?
No, I do, yeah. So anyone who's dropped off, so I use a program called Text Magic.
Okay.
And so I'll basically just get a list of patients who have dropped off from care. And then every 3 to 6 months, we'll just send out a bulk message, just, hey, name, just wanted to check up and see how you're doing and if you need help with anything. And then just leave it at that. Some people will say, no, thanks. Other people will say, yeah, my neck's been hurting again. We'll get a few
Yeah.
reactivations.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the percentage is high. I've definitely found that once people drop off, they drop off because we're not really a symptomatic based clinic. It's like once they're committed, they're committed. And if they're
Right.
not, you won't really hear from them again, even if you
Right.
try to kind of reactivate.
How's your direct mail?
Direct mail to existing patients,
Yeah.
or so no newsletter, nothing like that.
No, nothing at all like that? No? Why not?
ChatGPT needs to become more of my friends with that kind of stuff.
Just like it doesn't cost a lot just to send out postcards, a little personalized touch, a picture of everyone from
Oh,
the
you,
office.
you mean physical direct mail? I thought you meant direct
Yeah.
mail to their inbox. No, nothing with that.
I mean, it's worth it if the LTV is 3,500.
Yeah, it's still kind of just like once they drop off, I have found it's just very hard to reactivate them. So whether it's just doing that to stay front of mind, I've just like, I feel like when you give someone a care plan, if you're telling them, you need to come in twice a week for 12 weeks,
Yeah.
and then that kind of scares them off for whatever reason,
Right.
I've just found that it's such a low percentage who will reactivate again after that, where it's like, it's not their fault. It's more so that has the practitioner not connected with them enough, not got enough understanding out of them for them to want to commit to doing it in the first place. Because I like to compare it to going to the gym. If I go to the gym and I train really hard for 3 months and I'm losing weight, I'm putting on muscle, do I all of a sudden say, no, I'm feeling good because I've lost 5 kilos or I've put on muscle, I'm going to stop? So,
Of course.
do you get what I mean? Now, like,
Yeah.
for chiro, physio, that kind of stuff, people still value it too much based on the pain side of things. So my job is to educate them to understand that prevention is way better than waiting for a problem and then trying to fix a problem that's already occurred. Now, some people will get that, other people won't. And then there's a million factors that'll come into that: money, time, whatever else.
Right.
But I mean, if everyone's gonna look for an excuse, it's always going to be money or time based, because that's the easiest kind of cop out in a way.
Right.
So it's just, do they understand that the value that they're getting and the benefit they're getting significantly outweighs the money and the time they're putting into it? And then it's basically just a yes or no. And that's really where the connection with the practitioner and the patient comes into play.
And at the marketing is doing a good job in setting the expectations and educating them. So they understand that this is what this is about. This is not a, crack my back real quick for this one thing.
Correct. Yeah. It's just, if we're talking how to get patients through the door, 90% of the time it's going to be because they're in pain.
Yeah. I see so many, like we coach a lot of digital marketers and a lot of agencies are in the chiro space. And they're able to get new patients for like $50, right? Or less. But those are all the people who are coming in for the one treatment or the $19 exam, right?
Yeah.
Which I kind of don't like that because it brings in the wrong, it's just for all those reasons.
It brings in low value patients who don't really value what you're providing them. If what I found anyway, with us doing discounted consultations with Facebook and that side of things, like, yes, you can get leads, but leads mean nothing. To be honest, they waste more time and they take away time that we could get a higher value patient in who actually appreciates what they're getting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do think it is more education, even if that's just providing more from a marketing side of things where it's just purely content, not come in, book in for your appointment. It's just providing value through content, but then time and the rest of it comes into play.
That same content is not just to warm people up prior to acquisition. It's also functioning as remarketing on ongoing education. That's why these evergreen campaigns continue to build brand trust, because we see that the number one source of traffic to your site is on your name. Have we showed you the data?
No.
You want to see?
Yeah, I'd love to.
So let me know if you've ever seen this before. So there's lots and lots of tools. And this is kind of one of those glasses half full or glasses half empty sorts of things, depending on how you look at it. So spine and posture care, of course, that's coming on your name. There's a lot more traffic overall on Chiropractor Sydney, which has more local intent.
Yeah.
That's
by far my best keyword.
What's that?
That's Chiropractor Sydney is by far my best keyword especially from Google Ads from a conversion perspective.
And whatever's working well on ads, you want to rank for. So when you run ads, that's like renting, and this is like owning. right?
Hmm.
It's not that one is better than the other because if we find it works well organically, we should pay for it too. They
Hmm.
feed each other. And the
Yeah.
more engagement we see, like the better it performs in Google Ads, it actually has a spillover effect into organic because Google is looking
Hmm.
at actual Chrome traffic and that kind of thing. And that helps. They influence each other, which Google's not allowed to say, but they do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you've got some of these informational posts that
Yeah.
are that actually do have a fair amount of traffic, but it's not Sydney traffic. It's from
So
random sorts of places, right?
yeah, so I mean, with my Google Search Console, I was always getting a very high amount of traffic from those sciatica keywords,
Yeah.
but all of it was
No
from
patience.
America, and yeah, it was from overseas,
So
and I mean
you
that meant
understand why,
nothing to
right?
me. Yes, yeah, and so with Google, now that Google kind of got rid of a lot of that traffic, it looks like I've had this huge drop in traffic, but all it's done is kind of get rid of traffic
The
that
stuff that
wasn't
didn't,
going to
yeah. See,
convert in
you
the
can,
first place.
yeah. So you had to drop the last year
Yeah.
through here,
And
yeah.
so anytime anyone looks at it, they kind of have this panic attack. And for
Like
me,
this here, yeah.
yeah, I'm getting more patients than ever at the moment, but I just feel like I've lost a lot of the international traffic.
But you've lost
Or
Australia traffic too.
yeah, that sciatica page. I mean, it was just such a random one that I kind of just wrote it when I first opened the business, and yeah, it just picked up all these kind of
Yeah.
random keywords that
But
I
look,
mean, talking
isn't it
about
wild?
groin pain and
You have twice as many keywords ranking in the US than in Australia. Obviously, the US is a
mhm,
bigger market and all that.
yeah,
But check this out, Mark. So this is not this one. What was the one we were looking at? This one's sciatica. Okay, so this is actually a good informational kind of blog, some good diagrams. It's formatted to be easy to read, like a good article. But the reason why this is ranking so well in America and other places is because there's no geo signal. So
okay,
there's no mention of Sydney. So you could start to mention Sydney and like an example of these different clients or a little video of you talking about something. And then towards the bottom, you can say more things. Well, I mean, you have this Sydney CBD chiropractic.
hmm,
That's it. So if you
yeah,
want
yeah.
a little bit more local signal, I mean, there's different ways you can try to like cut out or restrict international traffic. I wouldn't do that. I would
Hmm.
just say make the content more geo-specific, and that will start to help us rank. That'll start to change this composition here.
Yeah.
And then when you look at your top pages, it's a lot of this, as you know, you already know about this. You have this decline in organic traffic, but a lot of it's the traffic you didn't want anyway that didn't turn into patients. But
Hmm.
because people are looking for your name, spine and posture care, and then your name too, Mark. The homepage is what's dominating, and then of course sciatica is right behind that. Then after
Yeah.
that, you have all these other posts which are just a trickle. So if we had stronger location service pages, that would help us be a lot stronger. The
Hmm.
fact that your homepage is the one ranking on Chiropractor Sydney instead of a location service page tells us these other pages aren't carrying their weight.
Okay.
And so what you do is if we look at, let's say, you know, neck pain or eat any of these are basically service pages, right? Let's say
Hmm.
neck pain
Yes. Yep.
or whatever, right? Of course, you have this for conversion and you have some of these pieces here. You have some information, but you are
Hmm.
not answering the people also ask questions. And you
Hmm.
don't have the diversity of having like a video saying, "Hey, Mark, I'm Mark here. Let me tell you about, neck pain, points one, two, three, and four, that kind of thing." And just to prove it,
Hmm.
we can copy this and put it into you understand, like, ChatGPT and all this stuff. We built an article grader, right?
Yes. Yeah. I used it. I had a quick look at it last week.
Paste. Okay. And it's going to tell you that you don't answer these common sorts of questions. Of course, pricing is going to be key. And I'll show you another way just to triangulate. It's going to be questions. There's the local 3-pack, of course. I don't know if you have local service ads in Australia for Cairo yet, do
No,
you?
no, we don't
In
know.
America, we have it. There's
Hmm.
like 10 categories in medical that they've rolled out.
Yep.
But look, how much does it cost? Red flags, how much do they make? There's always people trying to become chiropractors. So it's always going to be questions like this. And whether you answer them or not, when people are doing these searches, in the back of their mind, they also have these other kinds of questions. right?
So should all those be answered on the neck pain treatment page, or should they have their own individual blog article written about them?
Well,
So like,
generally we want to enhance the service pages first. So grouping into neck and back pain and car accident and whatever, and
hmm
chronic, or posture. And then the ones that are, once those main category pages are working well, then we want to
hmm
do these sub pages that link back up into these main category pages.
okay,
So anyway, what we do is so we want to rank on Sydney Chiropractor. We're in position 4, which is we really want to be in the top 3 for many reasons, right?
hmm
So if we answer these PAA questions
yeah,
and we turn them, well, first, literally, we could do a podcast right now and I say, hey,
hmm
Mark, question, question, question. You just answer them. You can answer 20 of these questions in 30 minutes because you've been asked these questions
hmm
a zillion times, right? But they're
yeah,
just not available as far as we can see in terms of the
hmm
research we did. So, in one session, we would knock out all these questions, turn them into
hmm
YouTube videos, enhance the service pages, create other sub-blog posts, link between these other items together. You have enough juice at the top level. I think you're at 22. You're at 22. We could probably raise that a little bit more. Powerful links that we create for you from sites we
yeah,
control. And then that flows juice down to these other pages to help us. And the pages being stronger because we actually answer the questions that people are asking, right? You don't have specific things. I mean, it looks like ChatGPT generated your thing, right? Internal links. You don't have the visual, you know, images of treat like. I know it's cheesy, but the most effective video is when you put the microphone under the table as you're doing the adjustments, so you can, as people really like.
yeah,
But there's so much experience that you could show and videos where you're
hmm
explaining these most common issues, right? And it's not hard. And I'm not a chiro, but the funny thing is the chiros are usually so into the technical aspects of treatment that they forget about like the business and marketing things, which you actually know pretty well, which is pretty awesome. But it's
Like,
this that I think is
I
easy
enjoy it.
efficiency.
It's just, enjoying it and being able to implement it are two completely different things, I guess.
Well, AI in the last year has made it a lot easier to implement. We just need one key
hmm
ingredient, which is we need videos of you and the 5 other chiros doing what they do and also answering these most common questions. So you have the raw material that can then be put in this whole content factory thing, that we teach,
Yep, yep.
right? So this part here, tons and tons of these little videos allows us to process it to enhance your social media, your YouTube, your website, all these other pieces. And then you can
hmm
run ads, and then you can do all this other kind of derivative stuff off of it to promote it.
Yep.
So really, if you get us this, because you're busy doing all these other things, we can handle the rest of it from here and then just track the results every week.
Okay.
And I think
And
that would give
then,
you efficiency because then we could tune the ads. Hopefully, we can make the landing pages and whatnot convert better. That way, your cost per patient goes down. The cost per click is going to be what it is. There's not really much you can do about that. We just
fair
have to be
enough.
more
Yeah.
efficient with the traffic, convert better, that reactivate better, that kind of thing. So what I
And
would love
then,
to get is, do you have, all your Kairos? They can have if they can have photos and videos of them doing what they're doing in different
mhm.
parts of CBD with different kinds of clients, with different, I've got tons and tons of videos and pictures of adjustments with other chiros and whatnot. Chiropractic, Sherman College of Chiropractic. Oh yeah, I taught there, taught some classes there. See all these kinds of things here, right? We have a lot. There's their president. So if you can show pictures and videos of you and the staff, you interviewing other patients on who they are and what's going on, that gives us lots of raw ingredients that we can turn into more content, more blog posts. So it's not just the stuff that, general Cairo sorts of questions. It can be things specific to Sydney and your practice and your people and things that really put you as the Sydney chiropractor. So there's nothing wrong with having these, sciatica or these other, things you have here, but we can localize this so much better. We can take these existing
Okay.
articles that are driving all this traffic across other places and just
hmm
localize it a little better.
Okay.
And then, I think your Facebook doesn't have anything from like till 3 years ago or something like this. Like,
Yeah. This main social media
and it's
hasn't
not
been the
because you
best of
need to
friends.
post on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. It's that if we can get this first phase raw like bucket of content, then
Hmm.
by processing it, we can repurpose it to live everywhere. So you're not making content for Facebook or for YouTube or for TikTok or Instagram or whatnot. So, I
Okay. And then like I mean in terms of like the actual type of content outside of I guess us showing adjustments and that kind of thing, is it
uh
talking about, stretches that people can do when they're getting
yeah,
pain and that kind of stuff?
yeah. Because that shows that you're more holistic than, oh yeah, I just cracked my back. It shows expertise, it shows
Yeah.
care, it shows you're a higher level of service. It shows that's the kind of stuff you'd expect as part of a care plan. I think I just put
'Cause,
this in
yeah.
one location. You have two locations, but your CBD one is, let's see, where's the, thought I'd ran this yesterday. Did I not? You had a listings problem. I think a lot of these you hadn't claimed. Australia's a little bit different in the whole directory citation space. But either way, we want to go in and claim. I mean, you can pay, free extra or whatever, but that's all month to month. I
Hmm.
believe in doing it the right way, which is coming in and just claiming everything and putting it all in a Google sheet and then repurposing content, tying it all back to the site, making sure the name of the
Mhm.
phone is solid, these kinds of things.
Okay. Because, yeah, I mean, with a lot of the listings, most of them should be claimed from like the directory listings. I would have done most of them.
I think it's because you have a generic name, spine and posture care. Well,
Because
this
lately I've been trying to add in the new
here's your
location, so I've just been double checking that the old location still has all the listings, and most of them have been there when I've done, Yelp and Apple and the rest of them. So,
try this again. Okay, yeah, you do have these pieces, but you don't have a lot of information here. You haven't added like tons of
mhm.
pictures and videos and whatnot. I think
Yeah.
your Google business profile is potentially as strong or stronger than your website. And that's
Yeah,
what,
a lot of people mention reviews before they book in and that we
because of
have good
this.
reviews. And
Obviously, this is the most important part
yeah,
of your
yeah.
Google business profile.
There's a 2-star review sitting in there that'll forever haunt me, but I guess it makes it more realistic when there's at least one that's not a 5-star review.
Well, if it's completely 5 stars, that looks suspicious, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny. You know what you could do is just you realize you know how to get rid of negative reviews?
Look, I tried to. I signed up for a few companies who said they can get rid of them, and
No,
they
no, no,
couldn't
no.
do it. And
That's
then
not that.
I
Those are all
reported to
scams.
Google
No, what you
that
do
it wasn't
is you try to do something nice for them and you ask them to leave a new review and that wipes out their previous review.
okay. And
What you
like, I
don't
mean,
say is take down the bad review. You just say, hey,
yeah, yeah.
hey, could you write it? Because let's say I left a 1 star review. If I click write a review, that replaces
Hmm.
the old review.
Okay. And I even tried, like, I mean, I think even in my reply back to this lady, because she saw one of my other chiros, I said,
Uh-huh.
we can offer a full refund. And like, I mean, it wasn't even a bad thing that had happened. All that happened was that she had a slip disc and she needed
Uh-huh.
to go get imaging before she could get treatment. And the lady wasn't happy with that and she wanted treatment. And I was like, well, you can't get treatment. Or the chiropractor said you can't get treatment if you don't have images because we need to see what we're working with.
Right, right.
And she wasn't happy with that. So I offered her a refund. I said I'd personally see her, but we
No,
got no reply.
you responded to her and you didn't argue with her. This is a great response.
Look, at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to help everyone, and some people don't.
Yeah.
They're not going to be happy with whatever you do. So I mean, it is what it is, but it'll haunt me.
Well, I think the fact you have only one, this is a really, really good situation that you have here.
I should reply to more reviews as well. That's definitely one that I've been getting
Yeah, and you
lazy
should
on.
have other team members or whatnot come in and click like on these too, and
Hmm.
that kind of thing. I'm a level 9 reviewer. I have 22 million views on my stuff.
Wow,
This is wild.
it's great though.
And but you also have some free you have some ebooks and guides and things like that, right? So you know kind of how these SEO stats work, right? Kind of like what we're showing you.
Yes, yeah, yeah, definitely.
This is my site. This is the number one free ebook site on the internet. 500,000 visits
Nice.
a day. Domain
It's
rating
huge.
75. 7.9 million links.
It's massive.
You type in free ebooks anywhere in the world, and we're number one. Free ebooks this, free ebooks that. So,
Hmm.
one of the things we could do immediately, of course, we want to do it in a way that doesn't look like we're trying to cheat Google, is we could take
Yep.
different guides that you've written and publish them on my site, which has
Hmm.
got every category in a bookstore you'd imagine, including erotica and whatever. And then that would make you an author. And then we could
Hmm.
feature you as an author on my site, which passes you quality links. Because we look at the links that you have, you have like what, 800 something links in here? 186. Got a 22 overall, but how many of them are actually good links? Do you know?
Not many, I would say.
You have
Uh,
9.
yeah.
That's better than most chiros. Most chiros have none,
So, I mean, even with some of those links that I got, a lot of them were me just doing manual outreach when I first started working to try and get some backlinks.
which is great.
Yeah. But then you lose time and it's just one that kind of disappears unless you're focusing on it. Because I was using Harrow.
I'll help reporter out. Yeah, oh, they
Yeah,
discontinued that.
yeah. And that was quite good, but just yeah, when you've got time, it's easy. When you don't have time, you kind of just skip over it.
That's why you have a team of people to help you get that stuff done. And I
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
time to do it myself. We have teams of people. We'll create content and then they turn them into articles and links and that sort of thing. I can't be bothered to do
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, that's just fair enough.
But they have
There's
to do it
millions of
competently.
things
Like,
to
we can't
do.
just be giving away link juice to random people.
Yeah, definitely. Because
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
I
you did
mean,
this in 2018, and then some of these a little more recent directory. Okay.
yeah, one of the things that I've used to advertise on Google Ads but haven't really put on my website, there's a website called sydneyreview.com which lists the top 5 of any kind of profession around
Yeah.
Sydney. And so we rank number 1 for that. So it was kind of voted as number 1, so that's great.
You said top 5?
Yeah, top 5 or top 10. Yeah,
Oh,
sydneyreview.com.
my buddy runs that.
Oh, nice.
Top 5. What's it called? Michael Doyle?
Okay.
Let's see.
So no, so the website that I'm talking about is it's just sydneyreview.com, but the top 5 one, we're ranked in the top 5 for that as well.
What's his, what's the name of his thing? It says one of the top review sites. What's it called? Top 4?
Okay, no,
Is that it?
different
No?
one, but
Okay.
no,
You said Sydney Reviews.au?
yes, it's called sydneyreview.com. No, I think it's just .com. I could be lying. No S on the end of
Oh,
reviews. So just Sydney Review.
that sounds like a spammy site, but okay. SydneyReview.com.
Maybe
Okay,
it is
what's this?
.au.
Sydney.com. AU. It looks like a newspaper, but really it doesn't have a lot of authority, does it? Yeah, it doesn't have a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
it ranks
it's
on a bunch of
dark.
tail keywords. What is it? What are they, like a publisher trying to sell articles? What are they doing here? Oh, geez, they're just trying to put local businesses in here. Okay. It's a
Yeah,
derby, isn't it?
pretty much. But yeah, so on some of the chiropractor keywords, it does show up quite frequently, which is good just to build. Like, I mean, if it shows our website as number 1 and it says it's ranked and voted, I think if it just gives us some sort of, I guess, added authority, I think it's just nice to kind of
If it shows
promote it.
up,
Yeah,
top 10 chiropractors. Here you're ranked. Are you paying for number 1?
no, it came out of nowhere. I don't even know where it came
You
from,
know
but I'll
this
take
Sarah
it.
person?
No, I tried to reach out as well, but no reply.
Let's see what this page is doing. The page, I mean, gets 30 visits a month, but it's nice you're number 1. It's always good to be number
Yeah,
1 on the
it's
list.
great. Yeah,
And it's always fun, like on your socials, you could say, "Oh, we're so proud to be ranked number 1 by Sydney Review." Whenever you see this,
yeah.
it's usually someone trying to look like an official publication. Why are they doing this? How did this is so suspicious. How do they make money?
Because yeah, I was trying to work out how they
Lawyers, look
monetize
at this,
that.
lawyers. Like you can tell where their money's coming from. It's always the lawyers doing this hair transplants, those sorts of things, bathroom remodeling. Oh boy.
They had SEO agencies too. I don't know if you saw that.
Well, clearly these must be the top 10 SEO agencies. Sarah, I bet you there's not actually a Sarah Marshall.
It's definitely someone in India who's
Let's see. Is she even real? Is that picture even real? Let's reverse image search this picture. Okay, search this image. Can we not search her? I can't get, it's too small, huh? I don't think that's her. I don't think that, I think that's a fake person. I don't think that's a Sarah. Her captivating writing style, dedication, accurate, makes her an invaluable contributor. I don't think she's real. I don't think she's written all these. Every one of these articles is written by Sarah. This whole site looks suspicious to me.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure someone's paying for this. I bet you whoever did this site also did, you know, whatever, Melbourne Review or Gold Coast
Yeah.
Review.
But yeah, I mean, I guess like with keywords like best chiropractor Sydney and best chiropractor Sydney CBD, because we rank quite high for those, and then this site comes up generally with it.
Look at what
I
they
mean,
rank.
just
Oh boy. Okay, best chiropractor Sydney, but we can beat them.
yeah,
So easy. Best chiropractor Sydney. Keyword difficulty 0. Who are these other people?
like the top 2 are my main competitors.
Sydney Chirocare and Chiro and Osteo.
Yeah, and Sydney Chiro and Massage, the one just underneath it.
Let's
And
take
I
a
mean, their
look.
websites aren't anything special, and I don't think they're doing anything
No, they
much
don't even have any power. You're
SEO.
way more powerful than them. None of these guys have
So
any
this
sort of
guy's
power.
chiropractic care, I don't know if it's just domain age, but he's always ranked first for Chiropractor Sydney. And I mean, even when I was actively doing SEO with people, we could just never outrank him. And I never understood that because I felt like he was never really doing anything, but he was always ranked first for Chiropractor Sydney.
Well, he's number three now. I guess it depends on.
Because the good thing as well with chiropractor Barangaroo, because that's not a search term that anyone uses. Most people are searching chiropractor Sydney. So, I mean, Sydney's
Of course,
huge.
there.
So, really, from a scalability perspective, I could technically open up anywhere in Sydney and get traffic or get bookings because we're ranked so highly for that word. So, it's like it's not a niche
Right.
suburb or a
Whoever's
very,
this on top SEOs is the one that's doing it. So we can figure out what they're doing.
yeah.
What are they doing? Okay. If we catch anything dirty that they're doing, we can report them. Not that we want to, hurt anybody, but if they're cheating, it's like taking drugs in the Olympics or something,
Yeah, yeah.
and you're third place and someone else is first place, then you really should be second place because we knock them out.
Yeah, it's fair enough. But yeah, I just
Usually when
like
there's
I
an
look at
SEO
their
company
site
involved, they're doing something dirty and we'll find it.
because I don't know if a lot of these guys just use PBNs and that kind of thing to get their links or
Yeah, I don't believe in that stuff. We never, ever,
yeah.
ever do anything like that. Dr.
Yeah, I
Justice, is
just
that the
feel like
guy
we've
from?
got he's an American guy, Jeffrey Brooks. Nice guy. I mean, I've met him and everything. I would
These guys are paying for a bunch of directory links. You can clearly see this. And then
yeah.
some weird payday loans. What the heck's going on here? Someone was a little sloppy, but whatever. It's a low competition term. So
Mhm.
it's not like you have to be all that. It's not like Viagra,
Yeah, I
utility
just feel like
services.
with the kind of foundation of things that I have, a lot of the other chiros don't have. So if I can kind of clean them up, refine them, and then build on them, I just feel like I could dominate the market.
Yeah, I think you're mainly I think because you actually have a great reputation and your brand search terms are number one, followed by the Sydney chiropractor thing. I think because of that, if we had more videos that then we turned into content, which is what we've been talking about, I think that's your
Mhm.
strategy to win. Because you don't have many pages here. And these ones, like you're answering, like I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to answer these questions.
Yeah, I'm kind of just ranking for individual keywords more than anything when I was writing these blogs
You're
anyway.
also not
The
doing
only one,
internal linking. You're on WP Engines and WordPress and you have the Elementor and all that. It's not gonna be the most important thing, but a very easy win is to be
Mhm.
able to pass link juice. Like you're not, as far as I can tell, yeah, you're not doing a lot of internal linking. So much, and I'm not saying go crazy with it, but we need to flow our link juice a little better,
Yeah.
especially to the
So,
people.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have been in the process of trying to create a topical map where I can write more pillar pages that kind of rank down towards categories and then individual articles. But I mean, it's just very time consuming.
It's not that hard. Because look, as we saw, this home page is carrying all the power, and all these other pages don't rank on anything really.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the pricing page works because people want to know the price, right? But that's the only reason this has anything. But these other ones, they don't carry any power. See, they're all well. This is carries okay. But these are the ones, these info articles that are from the U.S. or whatever traffic. Oh, this your sciatica one. Okay.
Yeah. Because
But
they're
then
my
the other
older
ones,
blog
there's like
articles as
nothing.
well.
And there's no links. Look, there's no links to any of these other pages. You're
Mhm.
passing nothing to any zeros. You see that? Zeros or one zero. It's basically zero.
So, I mean, is that something that I should be actively doing something about, or is it
Well,
worthwhile
either
kind of letting you guys?
you should have a VA do it or have us do it or someone should do it. I mean, this is not a monthly ongoing thing. This is like a
Mhm.
one month come in and fix a lot of these things.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe there's some ongoing stuff, but there's so many basic things that you could just get going.
And that's kind of what we were touching on when we first started this chat, where it's like if I can kind of get that stuff or the foundational kind of things sorted, where it's
Yeah.
like then we can build on things because the basics are kind of there. Because I mean, I've had so many SEOs look at it, and everyone has their own piece to say, and then no one
Sure.
really does anything. So yeah, I mean, everyone kind of talks about backlinking or internal
Where are your
linking.
backlinks? We can see where your
That's what I
backlinks are
mean.
coming from.
Yeah, yeah. So you kind of get sold on the hype of do this and do that, and then they do it, and then nothing really happens. So,
Yeah,
it's
but you
like
can
with
hold
you
them
guys.
accountable because most SEO people will use some piece of software that auto generates a report that makes it
Hmm.
look that it just shows like you rank on 2,600 keywords, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they don't tell you what they actually did. They don't
No,
tell
no.
you like the content. They don't look at your actual analytics thoughtfully. They just auto generate.
Hmm.
They don't show you the links they built. They don't,
Hmm.
thoughtfully look at the traffic and and see the interlinkages between the EMR or HR and the CMS and the content and the traffic, like all those things flow
Hmm.
together. You can't just do one thing in isolation, right? Otherwise, you're
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
oh, we rank on 500 more keywords. Yeah, but they're
mhm.
static of words from America. That doesn't help us.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, yeah, the conversation always ends up becoming about fix your on page, fix your off page, and then that's about as
Yeah,
far
but
as
who's
you
going to
get
do it?
from it. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so no, I mean, look, I mean, it all sounds good. I guess from here, it would more be like, what's your, I guess, number one recommendation from what what we can do, what I should be doing. Like I know the content side of things, that one I just need to do more than anything.
On your side for sure, we need a
Yeah.
lot of these 1 minute. It's not like you have to. It's not an ongoing thing. You basically
Hmm.
need to look at all the PAAs, of which the most important one is pricing. Everyone wants to know what's it cost, right? And you can always
Yeah.
give a range. You don't have to give the exact number, because
Hmm.
on your pricing page it just says $97. It doesn't answer their question, right?
Yeah.
And all the other sorts of related questions and the content that's doing the best on text, you make a video version of. But that basically could be knocked out in like 4 or 5 30-minute sessions. Most people don't have the
Hmm.
energy to keep the energy up for an hour. So
Yeah.
4 or 5 30-minute sessions, maybe once per week, you'd be able to knock out all of that. And then someone has to
Hmm.
process the video and turn it into blog posts and all social media posts and all that kind of stuff. Enhanced landing page,
Um,
location service pages.
and then, so would that just be just keep doing content from the people also ask side of things? Like, should I be doing content for, what's the best sleeping position or how to sit at
Yeah,
your office
all of
chair at
that too, because
work, that
those are
kind of stuff?
related as part of a topic wheel. So you
Okay.
probably have seen me, teach about how, so it's not just pain, it's about health and sleep and relationships and being successful and not being, tired when you're at work because you didn't sleep well, because you're in pain, because you like to
Hmm.
play golf with your buddies, but there's all these other things that are beyond just the symptom of pain. And there's other people that you can do it with, which include the other chiros that you've hired, other patients, other people that are in, the CBD and whatnot, and then that gets distributed to all these other channels. And then
Hmm.
this is how you create evergreen content. This is not a calendar, this is a wheel.
Yeah.
So you just keep adding to this wheel, and this is another way of envisioning how PAA or a funnel. This is basically a funnel, but it's wrapped. It's outside, top, middle, bottom of the funnel. That's what
Hmm.
it's basically a funnel, but the bottom of the funnel is the center,
Yeah.
right? So you
Makes
basically
sense.
need to create that content, get your Kairos to do that. Normally, we ask the front desk and the CAs to do that because the
Hmm.
Kairos do that. But you get all of it together in one spot, and then it can be processed and enhanced, and then that's when you use ChatGPT and all these other tools.
No, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Hi. That's my
Hey,
say
baby
hi.
number one and baby number two sleeping.
Baby, baby number one's crying somewhere in the background.
Okay.
Come on. Go with mama. Go with mama. I'll be there soon. Go with mama. Sorry, guys.
But it's pretty straightforward what you're missing. There are efficiency things, operational things, follow up and all, for the retention. But from the pure marketing SEO side of things, it's pretty fundamental what you need to put in place.
Okay. No, no, that sounds good. And then I guess from your side of things, what would you recommend going forward with some of the stuff that you guys offer and do?
Yep. Mark, I recommend that you hire us for 1 month, and we have one package. It's 3,500 a month. We don't believe in like having tons of complex packages and this is another $500, and if we have to make changes to the website, if we have to edit videos, if we have to we're not going to charge you for links, or we're going to give you our best effort for 1 month. Prioritize
Mhm.
based on the things we talked about here. Parker's going to run that. Everything's tracked inside Basecamp, which is our project management
Mhm.
system. You'll see an update every Friday, Saturday,
Mhm. Yep.
Friday our time. And you have access to us and other team members that we bring in. and you'll
Yep.
see exactly what we do. And
That sounds.
everyone we have on our team is implementation. There's no
Hmm.
account manager. There's no like salesperson, right? It's not like the car dealership where there's all the salespeople, but you never get to talk to the mechanics in the back because they're the ones.
Hmm.
Our team is nothing but mechanics.
Okay.
I don't
That's
like sales.
great. Yeah. That's
And then, give us a month and let's see how much we can do. And if we do
hmm
a really good job this first month, obviously we can't promise the moon because, SEO takes time and blah, 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 right? But
Yep.
if together we think that we made really good progress this first month, then maybe we think that's enough. Maybe we're like, you know what, this is great. Or maybe, you know what, there's other things we want to do in month two. But at least I'd say give us 1 month to get a lot of fundamental things in place, probably some things in tracking. I'd love to see that marketing effectiveness report that you have. Maybe there's some things we
hmm
can enhance. I mean, I
Yep.
know you said you go for the forums instead of the calls, but there's, we'll see what you have there, right? Maybe
Okay.
there's something with remarketing that's missing. Maybe your tag manager needs some enhancement. We'll find some other things, right? When we dive a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. The Parker will send you a link. I'm easy to reach. Other team members are usually pretty easy to reach. Parker's very easy
Hmm
to reach. He's like a robot. You can
Look,
text
it's
him at 2 in the morning and he'll reply.
probably not a good thing, but it's what has to happen. It has to happen, so it'll get done.
Someone's got to do it. That's always appreciated, though.
Yeah. And if we're lucky, I don't want to set this expectation, but I think we should be able to make some progress against best chiropractor Sydney, especially
Hmm
because we see who the other two guys are.
Yeah. No,
Promising,
no,
but we'll see.
no, that sounds good. Just on that, I know when kind of things are steady on a website and then changes start to be made, then there's fluctuations in
Yeah.
rankings and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, I mean, I've slowly been redesigning the website just to make it look a little bit more modern and fresh.
Okay.
I've kind of stayed away from the homepage purely because it's where my biggest source of traffic is coming from. So yeah, I mean, I just want to check.
Run those changes by us. We don't
Hmm
believe in, unless it's really necessary, aesthetic changes. Usually
hmm
ugly sites perform better because
Okay.
what we care more about is good content and fast site load times. Usually when someone comes in and tries to make it all beautiful with this big video in the back, like it just bogs down the site and it takes forever to load, especially on mobile.
Okay. All right.
So, I
So,
mean, aesthetics
I
are
mean,
great.
I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush to do it. Yeah, it was more just if I do make changes or anything, just so it doesn't kind of ruin
So
where
give us
things
a
are
heads
at.
up, okay?
Yeah,
Before you do that.
I'm just not going to touch it. I'll just leave it as it is for now, and then let you guys do your thing, and then
No,
we can
you
kind of.
can touch it, but just show us the thing if you could before you want to make the change.
Okay. All right. No, 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 that sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Well,
And then, I mean, moving out from month one, like without getting ahead of ourselves with Facebook and retargeting and that kind of stuff, is that things that you guys can help to implement
yeah.
within the month, or is that separate?
Let's see how far we get, right?
Mhm.
What I don't want to do is make this a buffet where we like try to cram everything we can into 1 month. If we
Yeah, yeah.
get to some basic, I think Facebook lead ads are the best
hmm
thing for chiropractors. Well,
hmm
Meta, they call them. There's Facebook as far as I'm concerned, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But those are usually pretty good. And as
hmm
long as you're happy with your $200 cost per lead, because
hmm
they put the deposit down and it turns into a patient most of the time, and 60% of the time it's a care plan, as long as the lead
hmm
quality's good, right? Then I
Yep.
feel good about that.
Okay.
And that's probably the Facebook lead ad that leads to a deposit through like a high level or other tool to then sell a care plan is the most common
hmm
path for Kairos for marketing.
Okay.
So I want to do that too, but I don't want to try to promise everything. And then you're going to say, Dennis, you promised we'd have this. And it's like, oh, okay, well,
No, no, that's all
yeah,
right. Like, I mean, I trust you guys. Like, you've got enough authority in the digital marketing world that I know that it was good to be able to speak to you guys and kind of run through
yeah.
some stuff. So yeah, it'd be good to at least get started and kind of see where we get, and then just build on things from there if we can.
You mentioned a podcast years ago. Was that Angus Nelson?
It was Angus
Uh,
McIntyre.
or Nat McIntyre? Yeah, Angus, the other Angus.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That was ages ago. So
yeah.
yes,
We've not changed anything that we've taught. The only thing that's changed,
yeah.
the tools have gotten a little better, but we're doing the same thing.
mhm.
We're just more efficient at doing it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, with AI coming out, I guess when you know how to use it properly, it does help to scale things
It either
so much
creates
more
garbage at
efficiently.
scale or it creates competence at scale. And it's all based on the user. That's the problem. If you have someone who is incompetent using AI tools, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
People don't say that, but that's the reality here.
Yeah. It's a dangerous
No
game.
amount of AI sophistication can overcome an idiot who's using the tool. Parker and I both know this painfully. Yes.
It keeps things challenging. All right. But
Awesome.
yeah, I mean, that all sounds good. So, and then in terms of giving you guys access, I'll just wait to hear from you guys with what you need. And
We have a whole process called the access checklist. You'll see we have a whole process we go through on onboarding and setting everything up and reporting and sharing what's going on. And
no, that's all,
and when we
sounds
need
good.
things from you, you don't have to wait for us. We will tell you when we need things from you. Along the way,
Okay.
we're going to need stuff. Like if you don't give us our videos, then Parker or I or somebody will interview you. Or heck, if the timing works out, I'm in Australia at least once a year. I'm there for a digital marketing conference to speak at, June maybe. I don't know when, but I'll be in Sydney at some point in the next few months.
Okay.
Maybe
Oh,
we
that's
can catch
awesome.
up then.
You know what I
Yeah,
could
that'd
do?
be great.
You know what I could do is I legally have to be in the UAE in the next few days to get residency. I could just fly to Sydney from there. I don't know if that's too
That's
short.
easy from Dubai.
Yeah, it's just like 10 hours. I could be there in like a week and a half if you want more. We can just do
Well, I
that.
mean, it's not an
Look,
emergency,
I mean,
but
If it's not an emergency, I can do it. Like,
I mean, I'm here, so I mean, how much you like jet lag and not sleeping and the rest of it. I mean, having a beer is always great. So if you're around, being in the city is great. There's plenty of good pubs around. So
oh yeah.
stay in contact. I'll see if I'm open to it or if it works out, but I'm happy to do that.
yeah,
That's
no
cool.
no rush. Honestly, like I mean, I'm just happy to get started and get some traction going. But yeah, I'm happy to follow your recommendations and what you guys think is best, and then we
Yeah.
can kind of go from there. But if you're
Yeah, meeting
around,
Mark is cool, but consider that's the bonus to delivering the results first, right?
look, they
What I'd like to
sometimes
do,
come
you know, what'd be
in
best
hands,
is
but
I'd love to deliver the results and then meet with Mark so we have something to celebrate. Then he can buy the beer.
that'd be great. There's a few good restaurants that we can go to if that's the case as well. So, but yeah, no, that all sounds great.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Parker.
Thanks so much for your time, guys. Much appreciated.
Awesome. We'll talk soon. Looking forward to working with you.
Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll talk soon.
Take care.
Bye.
See you guys. Bye.